Samuel Chase. Samuel Chase. Remember that name. Samuel Chase was a member of the United States Supreme Court in 1804. Actually, he'd been on the court for several years at that point. He was a Federalist, a high Federalist, which today you would call a Republican. Thomas Jefferson was the founder of the Democratic Republican Party, referred to on the Samuel Chase page over at Wikipedia as the Republican Party, because the conservatives and Republicans are constantly scrubbing Wikipedia for references like that. Let's turn Jefferson into a Republican. Well, he talked about Republican principles, and he referred to himself a few times as a Republican, but his name of his party was the Democratic Republican Party. They dropped the word Republican in the late 1820s, early 1830s. He was the founder of today's modern Democratic Party. You won't find that in the Samuel Chase page at Wikipedia, but in any case, this Supreme Court justice was so corrupt. He was deciding cases based on his own partisan perspective, based on politics. And Jefferson just was hysterical. I mean, this was right after the 1803 Marbury versus Madison decision when the Supreme Court said, oh, yeah, we got the right of judicial review. We can strike down laws passed by Congress. Where do you find that in the Constitution, says Jefferson? Oh, we just made it up, says John Marshall, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court at the time, and Jefferson's second cousin, and arguably most bitter political enemy in the world. So Samuel Chase is using these powers and to promote his partisan agenda, much like Clarence Thomas does. Hey, let's help out Ginny here. She needs another couple $100,000 from the Koch brothers. Or let's say, hell, let's help out the Koch brothers or the Federalist Society. Let's just show up at their fundraisers. Let's show up at their meetings where the billionaires pledge money to destroy Obama. Thomas, Scalia, Alito. Jefferson had it right. He went before he didn't go before Congress. He wrote a letter to several members of Congress asking that they impeach Samuel Chase, and they did. They impeached him in the House of Representatives, the same way Bill Clinton was impeached in the House of Representatives, the same way Andrew Johnson, Lincoln's vice president, was impeached in the House of Representatives. And just like those other two examples I gave you, Chase was not convicted in the Senate, so he was not removed from office. He stayed on the Supreme Court. He died of a heart attack in 1811. But the point is, Jefferson said, enough of this. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Impeach somebody. And you've been hearing this rant. Those of you who've been listening to this program for the 9 years that we've been on the air have heard this many, many times. But it sure bears repeating now that we have what is arguably, certainly the most corrupt court in the history of the 20th century. And arguably the second or third most corrupt court in the history of the nation, this Roberts Court. Now look at this 5-4 strip search decision a couple of days ago. Judicial activism is broadly defined as a court striking down laws passed by the people, for their own reasons, or making law, coming up with doctrines, inventing things out of whole cloth. Don't you think that local city officials for the city jails, county officials for the county jails, state officials for the state prisons, federal officials for federal jails, don't you think they should be able to decide who gets strip searched and who doesn't? I mean, in the strip search case that we had a couple of days ago here, that the Supreme Court ruled every jail has the right to strip search anybody anytime they want. It's not up to the court. It's not up to anybody except the cop who brings you into the guy running the jail or the cop at the jail. So if you're an Occupy protester and you get busted for jaywalking or loitering or just, hey, a lot of them get busted and then released the day later with no charges at all. You get to get stripped naked and bend over and be humiliated in front of a bunch of cops poking at you and laughing at you. That's making law. That should be up to the people. This court is so corrupt. It's time to take a lesson from Thomas Jefferson and impeach these guys. Or at least a few of them. Like Scalia and Alito and Thomas. And Roberts as well for lying during his confirmation hearings.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
So what do we do about the court? And how do you push back against the Tea Party? Why is the Tea Party not getting pepper sprayed? I don't get this. We'll be right back.